Scorpio community. Soul Tiger is here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So let's get started. Some keywords here are tired but willing to give it your all. At this time, let's focus on one task at a time, as well as taking our time with everything. Things will come together as they shall. There's no time limit on that. Remember, divine timing is always at hand. This last part of the year is to teach us that there's always something that needs to be done. And that is a part of our never-ending story on this planet, I feel like. But what we can learn is that taking our time lessens the load of stress and chances of incidences and accidents. Ooh-wee. You know what, Scorpio? That's what I be telling myself sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, when I am in traffic and I want to rush, I ask myself, today, do you have time for an accident? And I reconfirm, no, I don't. So I slow down and I take my time. I hop out of whatever lane that the person's on my butt and I get into a different lane. Maybe they got time for an accident, but I know I don't. So something that's at a distance, we have balanced emotions here. How to go with the flow of things, especially when we're feeling like nothing is getting done because there is so much to do. I like jellyfish because they don't have these strong fins to sit here and propel themselves through the water. They kind of just have to go with the currents of life, much like butterflies. So some other things here is we have banish a curse. There could be something that we're tied up on the inside about, and that is tied to how we see our success. And something we're not seeing that we're confused on is our passions. Letting our passions lead the way of love, light, and compassion when we're caring about the ones we love, when we're caring about the things that we are very dedicated to. You have a very bright inner light that you bring to the dark places of others, giving others hope, giving others a sense of feeling love, of feeling warmth from another person. And that is very, very, very beautiful. Not many people have that superpower, Scorpio. This is why I call y'all my earth angels here, or even guardian angels. So something else that you're confused about, you're at odds ends, you really don't see is the growth of energy, the fertility of things, the things to come. You could feel like you're just in this vicious cycle that is a never-ending story for you. It's just the chaos, the type of situations that you deal with always feel like they're repeating every year, maybe in a little bit of different ways, but you don't feel like you get a break. And then something that you don't see is internal charisma. A lot of the things that are being brought to you as the many tasks for you to take care of is not to take your wings away from you, but to show you how to spread your wings during the flow of life, when things are stacking up, when the inevitable events are coming in, how you're able to float through the different currents of life, the different emotional currents, the different mental currents as wow. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing to say that you are a very inspirational person to others. You may not know it. The things that you have accomplished, the things that you achieve, as well as your level of dedication, definitely inspires people. Even if they don't show it, they don't say it, but they feel it. Ooh. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and get started in the present of now. Guides, and ancestors, what is it that needs to come out for the immediate moment? Oh my goodness. As you see, things have been a little tricky lately. Things are stacking up. You can't get a break from things stacking up. One thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, I'm hearing to say. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't forget, and this is something that we've drawn away from, is recognizing that our divinity, that higher up energy, does not give us more than what we can handle. But sometimes when we're in our mental state of being stressed out, of being hard on ourselves and only seeing the negative side of things, we can plague ourselves of feelings that make us feel like we can't handle what's going on in the present moment. Taking steps back and focusing on one task at a time is going to be something that's really helpful. Maybe something that doesn't make you feel like you're so out in the cold with everything. And it has to do maybe with another. Maybe you're helping another. Let's see what else is going on. And then we have the Lovers here. It could have to do with another. Maybe you're having to step up a lot for others, and it's hard to see your success. And what could help with your emotions at this time is really taking a step back and seeing what you have built for yourself over the years, seeing how you being able to support others when it comes to their emotional state, when it comes to them maybe needing help, is that you are strong enough to do that, but you have the means to do that. Not everybody has the means to do that. Something that we need to do is put down the conflict when it comes to us being really hard on ourselves, feeling like we are without. For some reason, you feel like you're without a lot. And then I have the Tower here. Something here that you are not confronting when it comes to the fairness of things around you. Feeling really defensive about, let's see, defensive when you have to be the one to make all the moves, I feel like. And with this Emperor energy in reverse, that's over dominating, that's overpowering, that's trying to go through everything like a freight train and feeling like everything can only be handled one way, especially when it comes to how we're communicating and how we think about things. Because yes, the Lovers are here, but let's talk about, as well as this represents Gemini, and this represents Mercury energy. And Mercury and Gemini, just like Virgo, are about communication and how we think about things. So there could be something here with a particular partnership that you only see one way of doing things. Maybe you feel like you're the one who always has to step up in this partnership. Maybe that's the thing that has you really tied up inside when it comes to feeling like things aren't shedding its old skin so that you can grow, you can become a little bit more newer. For some reason, you're only seeing the one side of things, and the one side of things makes you feel more stressed out. Sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, on those harder days where things are stacked up and I don't know how to get a moment to myself, I stop and I give appreciation. I give appreciation because I want to redirect my focus. I can focus on all the stressors that's happening, the weight that's being put onto my shoulders from everything that I have to do. But I don't want to focus on that. I know I have stuff to do. I know stuff needs to get done, and I know that it's not going to stop. Things are always going to happen. So I redirect my focus to appreciation, appreciating having the means to be able to do it, to have the means to go to work, to have the means of even having shoes to walk into places, to having gas to go to the grocery store, to even having some kind of finances to provide food, to provide electricity, to provide these things that make life a little bit more easier. And I say that because think about it. If you didn't have gas, you had a flat tire, or say one of your shoes went missing, or you woke up and there was no hot water and you was having fun last night and you're in desperate need of a shower. Think about all those little things that if they went missing, how would you feel? How much more stressed out would you be? How much more without you would feel like? And sometimes we get lost in our stress and we can't see how having the little things really help make that bigger picture of us being able to do other things, whether it's for other people, whether it's taking care of certain bills, whether it's making sure to make it to work, whether it's making sure to be there for another. It requires a lot of little things within our means to be able to accomplish these tasks. And right here you have this Nine of Pentacles that you're not seeing. Your success and independentness that you've built around you. With this card, this tells me that you're not leaning on others to have the means. This tells me that you have worked yourself up throughout the years and throughout the different phases of life to be a provider, to be the person who has the means to help others. And that is something here that you need to take a step back and look at. And I had told a Leo one time earlier this year, because this Leo was so wound up. This Leo is an awesome person too. Really awesome person that's been teaching me a lot. But they're so wound up in trying to make this forward progression to getting to their goal, that where they're at right now, it's very frustrating. It's very stressful because they don't want to be there. They want to have that ideal outcome. They want to get to their dreams. And in the midst of all of this, they have not had time to relax, time to really take in how much they have accomplished throughout the years of their life. And I think that this is something for you here. No one's life is perfect, and I would say stay away from the stereotypes when you're looking at your life. Not everyone's going to have the white picket fence and the ideal family by the certain age they want to have it. Not everybody's going to be having their ideal career by the certain age they want it, because there are is it the stats out there that say we can change our career at least 3 times in our lifetime. So I mean, if you're getting ready to change your career, that's fine. You know, if you're getting ready to want to do something else, that's fine. There is no time limit here for you. And you know, to build your own success, to be at this Nine of Pentacles on your own has took a lot of work. Look at the very things around you. Look at the very things that you're dedicated to. See how much work you are putting in that's driven by passion. See how you have these wonderful ideas to want to help others, show others different ways of doing things, but also show others that there is love out there. Oh man, because that's some stuff right there. That's how you come in being fair to everyone. And this is something that you're not seeing yet. Take a step back. Take a step back and really look at what you've been doing so far throughout your life, because it's pretty impressive. It is pretty impressive. And if anybody wants to be out there, well, I got a past, everybody got a past. That's how you overcome those inner demons. That's how you figure out what you deserve and what you don't deserve. That's how you get more in touch with the seed from the divine. Is having a past. Is realizing where you need to be. How you want to be. Alright, so let's call in our angels of protection. Angels, angels of protection, please help, guide, and keep us safe as we navigate the block here for the Scorpio community. Oh my goodness, talk about stuff is stacking up in this block here. So first off, I'm seeing this here. We have a little bit of indulgence happening, I'm hearing to say, especially when it comes back to when you look at what you've put around you. And I say indulgence with this Four of Cups energy here. So I don't know if we like a little bit of wine time. I don't know what it is, but there's something here that you will overindulge on because you don't feel this independentness. You quite feel opposite of this independentness, and this is what keeps you stuck, is this reflecting on how you don't have that ideal outcome right now. Something else, few things that make you feel like you're out in the cold with things. It comes down to how you've been working, how you've been building. Maybe here you feel like you still have some behaviors, maybe some things that we indulge in that make you feel like you are still not quite where you want to be. And with this Devil card, this talks about the things that you use for security, but also the things that you fear to change. Maybe there's certain habits that you're really hard on yourself about. I'll tell you right now, as a person who grew up with a family of alcoholics and drug addicts, everybody is going to have their little kick with something. Honestly, it's not bad to have a drink every now and then. Just don't make it your go-to for every time that you stress. Don't make it your go-to and feeling like that's the only way you can get pleasure in life. And don't make it your go-to to always escape the stress in your life. And maybe that's something to work on this year. Something else that you are feeling like stuckness. There's definitely a stuckness on when it comes to the mind. A lot with the mind. There's something here that you feel a little mentally ill about. And it feels like it takes away from your ideal outcomes, your ideal community kind of outcomes, whether it's within the family, within the career type of things. Let's see, it's a lot. We have the Tower, King of Cups, Two of Pentacles. You're really focused in on another energy. You're really focused in on waking this energy up. You want this energy to progress with you. You want to paint something new when it comes to the outcomes of life. You have a contract here, and this contract has to deal with taking diplomatic views. Taking diplomatic views when it comes to how you face your illusions, The illusions in life, those illusions are you being hard on yourself, you not understanding why your expectations of what you should have now are not being met. That's what I'm feeling like, and that's attached to how you get irritable, how you get defensive about things as well. Yeah, there's something here because you got 2 Capricorn cards with the World here and with the Devil card talking about change. 8 of Cups, walking away from something. 4 of Pentacles, trying to hang on to something. So I really feel like going within and really having a talk with yourself when it comes to this indulgence energy here that I'm feeling. This indulgence energy that has you stressed out. This indulgence energy that you also use to get away from things for it. This indulgence energy is something that throws off your view of things. What I'm seeing is it throws off the view of feeling like you can stand on business in a sense, and a stand on business with an authority kind of thing. So I don't know if somebody's sitting here trying to sit here and say something about you because of this one habit that you have. But this one habit that you have isn't as bad as you think, but you feel like it shouldn't be there. You feel like it's the worst thing in the world. But I'm not seeing how this drowns out any of your success. For you, it feels like that. For you, it feels like it mentally, I can't find the word for it. It feels like it mentally has a hold on you, I guess I could say. Maybe you feel like it's unfair. It's really unfair to others that you have this habit and this is what you juggle. You juggle this indulgence versus the views of these others. But there's something here that you want to be more wiser about. There's something here that you would like to put your energy forth somewhere else. But the whole thing is, it's really, really hard. There's something here that's stopping you from doing it. And what I feel like the thing is you're being hard on yourself. I feel like you over-focus on the things that you're messing up on, the things that you feel like you should have achieved right now, and you're really just looking at all the bad of everything, all the bad, instead of focusing on all the good. And remember, what we focus on, how we view ourselves in our internal world, is the things that we will focus on in our external. So if we feel like, for instance, if the world is out to get us inside our internal home, then we look for cues in our outer world that will justify how we feel. So I feel like here you really focus on all the things that make you feel less, instead of focusing on all the things that you have done that have been very, very fulfilling. And I feel like it's really hard for you to walk away from this type of perspective. It's really hard for you to confront this type of perspective. And it's a lot of reliance on feeling like what others think. I feel like here for you in this block. You really feel like, there's no other choice in things. There's no other way to go. This is just the way it is for some reason. I mean, this really bothers me here because you have this King of Cups. You have this King of Cups. King of Cups is a very mature energy. And this King of Wands also in reverse here. So you're not focusing again on the progressive things, because the masculine energy is of progression, is of exploration, is of development and adventure. And see, when we become stuck, it goes to all the opposites. It's basically caging yourself up. It's tying yourself down. It's weighing yourself down. Because again, too, you have the Kings of Swords here, or the King of Swords here. You have 3 masculine energies here. Again, this speaks that you are at a stalemate with yourself. And you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to feel about yourself besides being very upset with yourself. And your house is all about transformation through relationships. And sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of the time, we have our biggest transformations through the internal relationship that we have with ourselves. So how can you confront this situation? How can you be able to head towards it and to be able to gain the sanity back of seeing things a little bit differently, instead of feeling like mentally ill because you're driving yourself nuts because things aren't working out? Well, we have to take a step back. You're going to have to take a breather. And we have to start to develop a new routine that has us get up and start to make that progress again. So the progress here for you, I'm feeling like so far, is to unfocus from all the negatives and to redirect that focus into the positives, into the progression of things. Seeing how maybe at one time things were a little bit different, and when it came to the indulgence of stuff, maybe you didn't have stuff under control. Maybe there was more escapism in your past. And maybe now you're still viewing yourself as that past person, opposed to the person who has grown, to the person who has built, the person who has went through many phases trying to discover who they want to be. And they've changed themselves from this past person into somebody a little different, especially when it comes to how they handle things. Oh my goodness. Yes, sometimes we have to grow with ourselves. We have to grow with ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because we don't stay the same throughout our lifetime. Nobody really stays the same if you think about it. I mean, they could keep the same habits, they could keep the same kind of concept of life, but their physical being will change a little bit, their emotional being will change a little bit, how they think of things will change a little bit, even if they don't want to notice. All right, so let's keep trudging forward into the conclusion. Let's call in divine and universal energy. What are the positive messages that you have here for the Scorpio community? Oh my goodness, I like this. I like this. All right, anything else, and that is gonna be it. I like this a lot. I'm already seeing really good cards here. So the future of things for you is growth. Growth is definitely in your future, being able to spread your wings, but also to teach others from the lessons that you've learned in the different phases. This is something that's going to help you, especially when you walk away and you change your routine. And that routine is how you reflect upon yourself. Because remember, There are always others watching us, whether it's our children, our younger siblings, maybe younger co-workers and stuff. But there is always somebody who's watching and learning from us. Something else we have here is past lives. This is something that you've dealt with the different phases of your life when it comes to how you see things with the imagination, how you see things, especially how you feel supported, but how you feel like you should support others. And then we have sanctuary here. Remember, this is about not having to accomplish everything the most all at once. Maybe if this is the part of what's stressing you out, which leads to the indulgence a little bit, maybe again it's calling in support. Maybe it's taking more breaks. And again, doing one thing at a time. For myself, I have children. One is already out. The other one is still in. Few more years though. A few more years for him. And there are times where I need his support in the home, and I have to take a step back, and I have to take breaks. And I have to understand that when I ask for support from another person, that they're not going to do everything the way that I will do it. So it's also practicing patience with that. So I mean, calling in support, seeing that others can help you out, seeing that, yes, it's okay to take my time, but also it's okay to take a break. This is a part of also a personal contract you have with yourself. And it's also a part of something that could help fulfill you emotionally when it comes to not feeling so much out on your own with being the only one who can handle things or take care of business. Friendship. Like I said, leaning on others for help, especially when it feels like you're juggling so much. And then on the other side of that is passion. Don't forget to be passionate about yourself, passionate about your sanity, passionate about being able to take care of yourself. Something that we have here is cycles. Things will go round and round and round. Different phases of life will happen throughout our lifetime. Just like we are growing and changing, the individuals around us are growing and changing. So how can we be able to understand this and not have to juggle so much on our own? People can help us. People are allowed to help us if we let them in and we ask for help. And maybe that's something here. Maybe it's something here that you learn when it comes to others. Maybe I have a Scorpio here who's had to do a lot of their own journey by themselves, a lot of their own journey on building themselves up. And maybe something here for 2026 is learning how to rely on others. I'm not saying give others the most important task, but I mean the ones that others can handle for you. Let them handle it so that you don't burn yourself out. And I think I talked about this a few months back for you, Scorpio, is don't burn yourself out trying to accomplish everything by yourself because you're trying to overrule how you really feel deep down inside about yourself. I mean, there's some times where it's really hard to see our success. It's really hard to see our success because we're so tied up inside feeling like we're not getting to the things that we've been working really, really hard for, which could throw off our emotions, how we see things, how we feel about things, which will create a block to us actually seeing how much we have accomplished in our lives, how we've felt, how we've put down a lot of different things that have came in. And you know what? Sometimes we put ourselves out in the cold because we're upset. We're upset with ourselves because we're being too hard on ourselves. We're being too hard on ourselves because we expect certain things that should be right now. Certain things, you know, that we've been juggling when it comes to how we really want things to come out. Whether with people, places, things, and with ourselves. The thing is you've been stuck in a place mentally. You've been stuck in a place emotionally that has thrown you to so much defenses that have made it hard to bring in change, to confront, but also walk away from old ideologies, I'm hearing to say, when it comes to how we view ourselves. Remember, on one side, you view yourself as not the greatest person because you have something here that you're still attached to, which makes you feel like you can't have that happily ever after. But what I'm seeing here and what comes out is you are more than enough fair with others. And the thing is, you've just been stuck. You've been stuck in a way of thinking, in a way of seeing things with yourself because you've been really hard on yourself. Really hard on yourself because you're still viewing yourself as your past self, as the past self that you are the most hardest on. And see, a part of this contract right now, when it comes to growth, Scorpio, is being able to let go of a certain view, being able to allow ourselves to fulfill ourselves by giving ourselves permission to see something a little bit differently, to be passionate towards ourselves, especially when it comes to how we view the different cycles that we've been through our lives. Just remember, what we put in our imagination, how we put our imagination out there, really gets reflected upon us, how we feel about things, especially with ourselves. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. We all have a past where we've made mistakes. But the thing is you got to bring yourself back into the moment of now, creating a little sanctuary for yourself, creating some support for yourself, and understanding that you may not have your ideal goals right now, but you've led your way through passion to help get yourself to a better place. Even though you don't feel it, it's there, and you're the one who's been building it. Now let's call upon others to help us out, even if it's with small tasks. Being able to lean on another instead of us always having to race off and do everything ourselves because we're trying to run away from a past self that we're still hard on ourselves about. Oh my goodness, Scorpio. The guardian angels of the earth. It is time to spread your wings and blossom. Come to full circle, really, with yourself, especially with the changes throughout the year. Let's redirect our focus from the negativity that we see about ourselves to the positivity that we see about ourselves. See how we've changed. See how we've grown. See how we have built. Alrighty, Scorpio community, this is gonna conclude it. This was a really awesome story. I hope this helps. And as always, don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope you have a most wonderful rest of your day.